Mhuri yeZimbabwe tiri kutambira mashoko zvekare ekuti Collins Mnangagwa ari kunzi akafonera Stana kuti tikangokuona uchiperekedza Olinda kukoti uri kupinda bhesi. Muri Zimbabwe tiri kuti makadii matima nenyika yeZimbabwe kusangana zvekare pano apa chivhitivhiti chenyu paTV yenyu patinenge tichikupai malatest updates nenyaya dzinenge dzichiitika munyika yeZimbabwe. Ndiyo nyaya tayo tiri kuzivise kuti ndo zvakaitika vana vaEmmerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa vane grudge naStana nekuda kwenyaya yapokelo. Batika Stana hapana mhosva ainayo. Mhosva ine ivo vakaenda vakandotora zvinhu zvaStana. Ndo pane mhosva chete. So muri Zimbabwe tichakusema makateerera kunyaya yaChief Murinye avo vari kutaurwa kunzi vane noise yavari kuita kunharaunda yavo nekuda kwechikoro chakavakirwa munzvimbo yemafuro. Nyaya yataurwa yainzi chikoro chakavakirwa pamusha wababa wake iye muridzi wechikoro ichi, asi akazoextenda chikoro ichi achipinda munzvimbo yemafuro paakaitawo madhiri nemasabhuku anga ari koko. Dhiri iro raitwa Chief nyaya yake ingeri pakuti iwewe wavakira pamusha baba wako hatina problem nazvo. Tisina problem nazvo, nyaya iripo ndeyekuti iwewe chitarisa vana vemunharaunda wavakira chikoro pamafuro avo, chidzikisawo price yako kubva mu800 yauri wosvikawo paprice inonzwisisika vana vodzidza. Saka muridzi wechikoro ari kunzi akadzikisa mari kusvika pa150. Asvika pa150 muridzi Chief ndobva ataura kuti aiwa 150 yawo atosiya futi yakatowanda because vana vari kutotadzira kuenda kuchikoro nekuda kweprice ye$40 vari kutotadza kubhadhara ma$40. Saka iwewe 150 yakatowandisa. Saka ndo pakatanga kunetsa madhiri papapo, ndo zvakatanga kunetsera, ndo pane nyaya ipapapo. Zvese zvamuri kuzonzwa kunzi chichi nevamwe vakutora mativi, isusu tine umbowo wakati kwetsere, ndo pane nyaya ipapapo. Muri Zimbabwe tinotenda nekuteera kwenyu, ndo nyaya dziri kuitika mastreets esocial media. Muve nezuva rakanaka, tichakusiyai makateerera kubva panyaya yaChief Murinye.
That right. Mirai mukoma ningi chimbomirai.
Okay.
Guys, we just want to have, this conversation and not have reductionist, and narratives that are bent on dismissing some of the things that we want to be talking about. What Chennai you're referring to is quite, important, that, this lawlessness here has brought us so many of the problems that you can think of in terms of this particular case here. The aspect to do with governance inequality, the access to do with the cultural authority of this chief, in the way that he has conducted himself, the expectations that the community have when it comes to this. So those are a plethora of areas that we can focus on, that we can have a conversation around. So Mukoma Wami, I'm quite sure
Yes.
now you have got a grasp or an understanding of what it is that we are trying to do here. So I'll give you the opportunity to give us your contribution to this topic.
Thank you so much. I'm talking as a local, a villager from this area.
Mhm.
Murai ni macho. Murai ni Ourayira, Mnangagwa Mtangiri. That's where I live. Without the background is Singati Mutauring at the school. Mtangiri has helped us. Electricity, as I said earlier on, water, running water. In terms of electricity, I mean, even in schools, that's number one. Number two, yes, the land that is being referred to, ndakakura ndichirisa mombe muraini iri, hamusisina pokurisira mombe because of population explosion. Each one unotosiya your own place, your own land with urisire mombe. So what the chief is saying about putting grazing lands, that's not true. The other point I would like to raise is that, to be honest, the idea of vana avo vachiuya vachidzidziswa kuchikoro uku, this is, I think, the proprietor has already established himself as an education provider from Riverton 1. This is a satellite, Riverton 2. This is a poor village. And it's a chance yekutotitaurawo kuti this has come to our village. Most of the men, the young men in our village are employed there. It has just changed the place. I was gonna say that. I don't want to be involved in the politics. The politics of the bribing or whatever they are talking about. And it was enough. But personally, I have also benefited. So what I'm just saying, it was unfair to allow the students, to let the students go through that kind of experience. I think it's traumatic. It's really not necessary. And our chief, we know him. He has his own past, he has his own history. We are not surprised by what's coming from there. And I mean, I don't want to go the politics side. I just want to say we need this project. It is developing our area. The roads are being constructed in this area by Mr. Mutangiri. Electricity is being produced in this area by Mr. Mutangiri. So there is a chain of benefit that's coming to the ordinary people because of this project of Riverton 2, Riverton Extension, as they call it.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mkomani, for that. We do appreciate your contribution. Regai right. Vanyanguchi Momirai. Regai ndiende kuna Dr. Sixpence. Dr. Sixpence. You were coming in muchingwesa tuma 222 saka ndarakupa mukana wokuti mutaure nesu. Talk to us about this. Help us understand some of the things that are going on, because when you are now looking, you brought in a number of clarification points, and then when you are now looking at the behavior of those in authority, or those who are supposed to be engaging with this chief in a way that they reach an agreement. The chief has walked out of the meeting saying Kutizo, he walked out because he felt intimidated. This is the chief. Arutochikira upenyu hwake. Saka, what are we dealing with here? Naimgoma Dr. Sixpence.
Yeah, Uncle Teds, are you happy for me to?
Yeah, I'm giving you the
Yeah,
floor. Kuti
no, thanks.
ndikudeala nezvechiva chimafia here.
No, thanks for that. I think even Mr. Wami, some of the stuff that he said, like they are, I'll call them partial truths, and I'll say partial truths, not because varukunyepa, but because some of these things are subjective. As an example, if you're a beneficiary of mvura or magetsi, you'll see mafura ari kutaurwa as gwenga, but if you're not a beneficiary of any of that, you'll definitely see them as mafuro. So it's from that perspective that I just say, Kuti, some of the things that he's saying, they are half truths. But
Saka ndingadasiri kuda ma-reductionist narratives. Because to me, that is what they are.
yeah,
Kuti
but
ngatimbosiya boys pane benefit apa, ngatimbosiya boys isusu ningi takazodai, ngatimbosiya boys isusu ningi takazodai.
no, I think that's actually what's happening, and the good thing about it is both protagonists, they're also affiliated to ZANU PF, both of them. Sagai Papo, there's equal footing from either side. Then I'm also knowledgeable about the area, and what is on the ground is there was a partisan distribution of these resources that Mr. Wami is saying. Kuti, it was also on a case of kiss goes by favor. There were some schools that benefited truly from rural electrification supported by this guy, and pai sama boreholes, mangwasha is all communally, so some people benefited from them. And then EAO within this ZANU PF party, E and a chief, I think they could potentially be on opposing sides, and which is why this has come to pass, this the friction between them. Otherwise, if they were on the same side, then this would have been easily overlooked and it would have been rubber stamped by the chief. So, to some of the villagers, they say, Kuti, it is a blessing depending on which side of the fault lines, they fall. But the honest truth is, the school was built without any planning permission, without any consultation from the locals, on the basis, Yakuti, Anga Achiti, he has provided for this village, and no one within the village has the authority to stop him. And truly so, most of the beneficiaries who had benefited electricity, Mvura, and some of the menial jobs that he was giving, they would dare not say anything to stop his project. The school then became built, and it was built. What Wami said is true. It was built Muyad Make Iye, but it's the extension that goes out of his yard, which is now the bone of contention. Um, you know, and like I said, Kuti, the land iyo is also very subjective. Some then say Kuti Aiwa Kwagarat Ushandisa, but the honest truth is it is communal land, and it is used for mafuro. It is used for all sorts of activities that the community within that locality uses it for. So to some degree, the chief is, to be honest, is a bad messenger, because EAO within that locality, he's also known for, he also falls foul of the law in many cases. So now the fact that he raises these things, rightfully so, in this particular matter, his history also comes across to erase any voice of reason that he may have, right? And that speaks to the physical property. No planning permission, no consultation with the local authorities. He just built it. He essentially owns that locality. Then, with respect
No.
to the licensing of the school, here his assumption, because remember he's the proprietor with Riverton, he says his assumption, and he said this for multiple months before today, that it is an extension of Riverton. So it benefits from all the licensing in Riverton. And that's why in the naming, Munaona Kuti, there is on purpose Katem Kekuti extension. And he hopes Kuti that extension also extends all the licensing, the permits of his main school, which was done properly. So in a nutshell, I'll stop there, Angojed.
Right.